Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. It's 2018. It's a brand new show. It's actually the same. I don't know. What are you guys up to? Yeah. See, this is from I loaded XSplit and it had the Game of the Year thing, the Game of the Year presentation. And I loaded an XSplit and I just didn't change it. I was like, fuck it, we'll just do the same thing. It is a little weird though.
Goldberg.
There we go.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah. I don't know why Co's the front layer. So here we go. Here you go, Zeke. Now you're in front of him.
Old...
Nope, it's not gonna work.
Oh God.
Jesus. Oh,
Zeke,
man.
not in front of company, please.
Yeah, man. What are you doing?
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Next time I won't slap you like with the finger like this.
Whoa.
That's what that was.
Co, what episode is this?
2339 actually.
2339. Okay. All right. Moving on up. Yeah. It's been 2 weeks since our last show. I haven't streamed in like 6 days or something, and I feel like I have no idea what is happening. It's always such a strange thing to come back to your computer, at least for me, after a little bit away, and you're just fucking, I don't know. My mic sounds off. The audio sounds weird. I can't hear myself that well. The lights are really bright. I haven't adjusted to that shit yet. It's a bad time. But the show must go on. So how was y'all's break? Let's start off with the stupidest question. What was y'all's best Christmas gift that you got? And alternatively, what was the best gift you gave?
Oh, that's a better one.
Well, I can tell you my best Christmas present. This is one of the first presents, or one of the first toys that I had, and one of my mods gifted it to me for Christmas. Found it at like a thrift store or something. But
is that a Starscream?
No, this is Ghetto Blaster.
Oh,
with the tape deck. You can open them up.
What was
There's
his
no
name?
tapes. Ghetto Blaster.
Wait, I thought Starscream was the beatbox.
No, there's
thing.
Ghetto Blaster and there's Soundwave.
Ghetto
Blaster was
That's right.
Ghetto Blaster was the Autobot. Soundwave. Yeah, that's what they used to call boomboxes. Ghetto Blasters.
Oh.
They call them Blaster, like for short.
I didn't know there was a good boombox transformer. I thought there was only
either.
Starscream.
Yep. No. There's good and bad. They both had. There was Soundwave and Blaster, and this was the Autobot version. And that was a present that I got from one of my mods. It was great.
Starscream was a jet. Who was the fucking guy that was the tape deck?
Starscream.
Soundwave, right?
Was that Soundwave?
I thought so.
Yeah. Soundwave. He talked like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had
All
the
right.
monotone.
Yeah,
Basically,
he was-
And then he had inside of it the tapes that popped out. For some reason, they were like from New York or Brooklyn or something. Like Rumble and Rap Cat.
Oh God. Wait, so is that like
Nobody
metal?
calls our bus unchrosmatic.
Is that like metal, Zeke? Is that a true old school transformer?
Soundwave?
No. The one that you just had. Is it like die-cast metal?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it? Okay, it is.
Oh no! It's all plastic.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, I mean, there's some metal screws in it, but it's plastic for sure.
You should watch one of the things I did over the break on Netflix. I think it's called The Toys That Made Us. They have an entire episode, I believe, for Transformers on there. They talk about like how Transformers came to be and everything. There's also one on Barbie, which is real fucking weird. There's also one on Star Wars toys, which is really great. It's a great documentary that they have on there. You should watch that.
The Toys That Made Us?
Yeah, it's great. Have you watched it yet?
I started watching the Star Wars one. I fell asleep. I wanted to keep watching it, but I was too tired.
It's a little slow for sure, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Co, what about you? What was your best gift you gave or got?
The best gift that I gave was 10 pounds of various peppered styles of quality bacon.
You just ordered from where?
That was the best gift from Newski's, which is an awesome online. They ship all over the place. That's basically like the only bacon I eat is from them. It's peppered. They have all sorts of really good meats, and they have like sampler packs, and yeah.
I'm Googling.
Newski's peppered bacon.
Oh yeah.
Where it's at.
Since 1933, they've been making bacon for a long time.
You should get some. You should get some bacon from them. Just saying.
Okay. I'll look up.
It's good. It's good. It's real good.
The best gift that I received, I did pretty bad in terms of, I'm not the best gift giver. I'll just say that much. For me, the best gift is like the most expensive gift, and usually that's not the best gift. People just put that on there because they're like, oh, well, JP will buy that because he's an idiot. I guess I could get that. I guess I'll like that thing. And I'm like, oh, look, it's the most expensive. Let's get it to him. Anyways, the best gift that I got was, I tweeted it out, so people might have saw it on Twitter, but Friday Night Lights is one of my favorite shows of all time, and Aaron got me the first, I think it's a rough draft of the pilot episode signed by the one of the main actors of the show, Kyle Chandler, who plays Coach Taylor in it. So it's all framed and everything. Pretty good gift. I have no idea how the fuck she found that shit. So, and then what did you guys do anything for New Year's? I saw you did like a New Year's cast. How was that?
That was awesome. All I did was I fired up the stream at like 10 p.m. EST. Path of Exile was the game. Just hung out, did maps, and it was great. I drank a lot, and we had like a countdown. So it was a very fun stream. It's the third or fourth time I've spent New Year's on Twitch, and I have to say it's really something kind of awesome on Twitch, especially if you stream it throughout the day, because you're celebrating all these different countries' New Year's throughout the day. So every hour that goes by, you'll just see the chat erupt like, it's the New Year here. And then, like the next hour will come, and then another set of group of people, yay, Happy New Year. So it's kind of like almost an all-day party in a way. It's a lot of fun. So, but for me, like 12 a.m. is late for me. So I basically stayed up. We did maps and stuff. I got a badass new helmet in this. Oh my God, I love it. And yeah, it was good.
You're using the light poacher.
I am. Yes. I was lucky enough to get one on my fourth lich kill on my guy. So
are you running is it one abyss socket or two abyss?
I have the abyss socket in the helmet, and one in the helmet and one in the belt.
Okay.
So I'm getting, but I mean, hell, dude, 2 spirit charges is already insane. It's completely changed how the character plays. Yeah. Considering how fast I cast, how much it goes off, and every single time you see that little explosion of green balls, I get healed for 5% of my max life. Yep. So it's yeah, that helmet, to be honest, it's one of the first items I found in PoE that I feel it's kind of like just broken. It's just broken. It's like how much power it adds to your character. What's up?
No, I'm just saying it's a pretty strong helmet. It's also relatively cheap too, because of how many people, like how many there are. I think they're going for like 1C or something like that right now. So it's a very powerful item for pretty low cost for sure.
And what's even crazier is I haven't been doing this because I don't have enough sockets, but any socket or any gems you put in the helmet, those gems affect the ability on the helmet. So you can put in GMP, volley, and all of a sudden your helmet is exploding in like 15 little things, and then you can do like add fizz to lightning so it's crazy. It's just crazy good.
Yeah, if you get the chest too, I think Shroud of the Lifeless, I think is the name of it. It's like all of the Tomb Fist, another one that has I think those are the gloves. They all have like pretty good synergy with that stuff. So
yeah, man.
But that's
you can make an abyss like set of items at this point just from this league, which is from what I understand a little bit rare. Yep. But it's pretty cool. So it was a very fun new mechanic. Makes me excited for future expansions in the game, because just this expansion added basically an entire new way to kind of manage your equipment and the spells and gems and how they synergize and things like that. And then you factor in the new T7 and all the new items from the Shaper stuff, and a lot of new stuff this expansion. So we have another one just in 2 months. So
yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing. I already put 250 hours into this expansion. That's how much I've been playing.
I probably have close to that on this character, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The amount of times I played this on and offline, because when I'm mapping with SSF, I can't just buy the maps I don't have. So there's some maps like Toxic Sewers. I've run Toxic Sewers 25 plus times and still don't have Phantasmagoria, which is the next map up, and I just have to keep running it. I don't have any other choice. So because it doesn't 3 combine into that one, it 3 combines into another one. So
yeah. The more I watch you and Dan do well, Dan's kind of like SSF light. I don't know. Anyways,
also known as not SSF.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're SSF light, that means you're not at all. That
Well,
means
he,
you're 100% out of the club.
he has the magical NPCs that sometimes grace his game and, trade him items and stuff like that. They're very rare. They show up every once in a while. But yeah, the more I watch that stuff, I truly feel like that's not the way to play Path of Exile.
SSF light is like an oxymoron. It's like clean burning coal.
Yeah,
it's not a real thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do have to admit, like I'm going for Shaper on this character. I'm gonna try to kill Shaper on this SSF character, and after I do that, I will most likely not play an SSF character. It's fun to do. It's a big challenge, and there's no question it changes the way you play the game.
Without a doubt.
However, like there's a lot of really awesome things about Path of Exile that when you're playing SSF, you just don't get to participate in. Like the incredibly well-developed store and trading system, doing group stuff, period. Doing dailies with other people, which, oh my God, that hurts. Having to do all your own dailies and oh my God, that's been rough. For those asking in chat, by the way, SSF is basically playing without your Ethernet connection. SSF means that you're playing offline. It means you can't group with other people. You can't trade with other people. It's not like harder or anything. It's a little bit more harder, but not really. It's just a way to play the game.
It's
not like hard mode or anything.
Yeah.
Solo self-found, for if you need to know what it actually stands for. If you're listening on iTunes,
that's true.
Solo self-found.
Soon to be on all the other fucking shit. I didn't realize how hard it is to just it's so difficult to just get MP3s up in the world, just to disperse MP3s into the world. It's such a fucking stupid system.
And if anyone's listening, JP, you just nailed a multi-$1,000 profit idea.
I know.
Of a single website that you upload your podcast to, and then that website distributes it to all the other podcast service. I don't know who you are out there that's going to make money off that idea.
Yeah.
But go ahead and get started, and then let JP know when you're done.
Libsyn does a pretty good job. I think that they've got a good grasp on that whole thing, but it's it's fucking stupid, man. And also, there's too many goddamn platforms. All right, can we just get a monopoly on all this shit and just have iTunes be the core thing? Just one thing.
No,
right?
but then you're gonna have people like, fuck Apple forever. I'll never do it.
No. Those are called Android users. They're fine. We'll have two different things. And we'll just have things.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you?
No, that's an Android user. You would be proud of that if you're an Android guy. They do say fuck Apple. That's why they have an Android.
You got me there.
Yeah, true. But yeah. Anyways, back to Path of Exile. I ended up making a new character right before I left.
Yes, I want to know about him. How do you like him? What is?
I got it to 86 in 3 days. Not 3 days played, but in 3 actual days. Because it's a lot easier when you have
die ever or something.
I died maybe, I don't know. Basically, I was doing level 45 zones at level 36. Just because I could run through it so quickly, and I was also kind of twinking my character with a bunch of random, really nice items, etc. The second that he hit 70, I already had a 6L Vis Mortis chest, which is best in slot and all that shit. But I was playing a Burning Spectre build. I guess I could bring it up while we're talking about. And I don't know. I liked
Not digging it.
I don't know. I killed Shaper in 3 days. It's a super strong build. I just walked up to Shaper and killed him. And it was even a 2-player Shaper, so he had more HP because there was an extra additional person playing with me. But it's kind of it clears really slow. And in before everyone's like, well, you could just change your specters. No, it's fucking annoying to do that. It's a crazy annoying process to change all that shit. Which is you basically have to sit there in higher level maps and cast Desecration on the ground until you see your little pet. Then you cast Raise Spectre on that. And you keep doing that till you get all the specters you want. To change that out every single time I want to do a boss and every single time I want to do mapping, I don't know. It's a little annoying. Also, the build was kind of slow in terms of movement. The only thing that I have is Shield Dash. And after playing Cyclone, where it's you're on fucking cocaine the entire time you're playing, just running around and spinning and just constantly running. I got addicted to that speed. And so I don't know if I'll go back to this character. I was thinking about actually selling the chest and getting my exalts back and investing in something else, but because I mean, like it already killed Shaper, so like what the fuck?
What else is there to do, really?
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Kill Shaper on your other guy?
No, I never even attempted him on my Cyclone character, which I think could do it just fine. I just never did. But yeah, the way the build works is you basically just walk around and let your pets kill everything. And I literally mean they kill everything. They drop little totems that basically a Scorching Ray come out of it. And those Scorching Ray debuff the fire resist, and then you're also debuffing, and then you have a pet that does 200% more burning damage on anything that it hits. So bosses just fucking melt. Like, Shaper didn't even... I think he got one rotation off of, like, phase 1 before he teleported me away. So it's very, very strong for boss killing. You can spec to go very, very quick for map clears, but then you're a little bit bad in boss kills.
Are there only certain things you can get off of the Shaper, like drops?
Yeah, he's got specific drops.
So you can feasibly like farm the Shaper for this shit.
Yeah, but it's got a little bit of an investment to it, because the maps or the fragments to get into Fight Shaper are pretty expensive. They drop from maps that are about like 15C to like 30 chaos each, and then you have to get the drop, and then you go fight Shaper from that. So it's a little bit of an investment cost, and sometimes you get bad drops. So. But if you get a good drop, if you get like a Star Forge, I think sells for a couple Exalt, which is his big two-handed sword that he drops. But yeah, I don't. The other thing is, I was thinking like, well, what am I gonna play? Like, what are the? I was literally browsing the forums last night. Like, well, I guess I could maybe do. I don't know. I might be moving on, at least in terms of streaming it. Yeah, at least from streaming it. I'll probably still play it. Like, I've gotten all my
around the corner, so
yeah, I got all my masters to like 3 or 4 days from level 8. So like I've been grinding the game a shit ton. Wow. And that's without playing in groups. That's all just doing maps. But we'll see. I say I quit it. I've said that a billion times before. Then I put another 100 hours into it. So
just got to find that build to reignite everything. I'm sure it's there.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
So it's the build that keeps you coming back, like the builds you can do.
Yeah, for sure. I've thought about just making my own. Like, I feel like I understand enough about the game to make my own, but I feel like a lot of making your own character is literally sitting in Path of Building for like an hour or two and figuring out what you want to do.
You know what, man?
Not actually playing the game.
That's one of the reasons that I didn't end up making my build the second time. Like, it's really interesting because there's so many skills, right? And some builds use skills you can get in the first act, and then other skills wait until near the end of the game. And you got to think to yourself, okay, so obviously every skill isn't viable. There's going to be some skills that no matter how well you spec it, there's just going to be others that are better. And that's the part that keeps me from really wanting to dive into building, because you would need to spec out a build from beginning to end to know if you have the right skill for the build. And anything else could be just a huge waste of time unless you want to respec everything. So now I could be wrong, and it could be the fact that maybe PoE is just versatile enough where every skill could be a build defining skill. But from what I've seen, there's like a few skills, for instance, that pros just say, no, you don't use that. Or, oh, no, you don't make a build around that because it's not good. And it's like the only reason they know that is because they've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in PoE build and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's almost to the point where making a build is just math. Yeah. Like it's almost not playing the game. There's so much to PoE at this point that you just have to like work through the math, work through the numbers to figure out something that works well. But
yeah, now I got to ask you guys a question, because I've tasted this kind of game before. Okay. I want to know how much time in hours you spent outside of the game thinking about the game.
Oh, a very large portion. Like the first week,
like you put the game down, you're getting ready, you're making dinner. Yeah. Is that you? Are you thinking about it?
Yeah. The first week that the expansion hit, well, really the second week when I started like really getting into the character and like getting items and being able to have like that powerful character, I had to like drag myself away from the PC. I had to like physically say like I am going to sleep now and reach over and just hold the power button down while the game was still up to get the fuck away. And then I would go back. I'd sit there and lay in bed. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. I get my phone, like go fucking read something real quick or look at oh shit, I could do that and pick up. All right. And then I'd get up, go over, turn the PC back on. I'd fucking be reading about it for another hour. Like it was real bad. It was really bad. But what about you, Ko?
Dude, the only thing I can equate it to is when you're, I don't want to use the word addicted, when you are heavily invested
Sure.
in an MMO. It's the kind of thing where you go to bed thinking about it and you wake up thinking about it. And you ask yourself, like, what can I do on this day to make it so I can play that more?
Yes.
Like, what do I need to do? So and I echo everything JP said. If like a lot of times if I'm not playing PoE, dude, I have not been on a game's Reddit more than PoE's for God, like months to years.
Yeah.
Looking up different builds, looking up different secrets, especially right when the expansion came out and people were linking like cool items they found and stuff. That was like a new MMO expansion coming out. It's definitely one of those types of games. But it's kind of interesting because JP actually touched on something else. It's the game is really good, but it's almost more character centric. And it's like if you don't have a character you're at the time, then it's just kind of like, I'll just do something else. But when you have that character you're working on, that's when your whole world like encompasses it. Like I'm still loving my guy, but I already know when I'm done with my guy, I'm not rolling a second character this expansion. So I'm totally infatuated with the game. In fact, I ran a map in the 20 minutes I had before doing this show. I didn't even eat lunch. I did a map instead. And, but you know, it's the kind of thing where I know in a week or two, depending on how long I take to beat Shaper, I'll be waiting for the next expansion or the next league. League? Is that what they call it?
League, yeah. That I feel like last league I like learned the game. In this league, I feel like I learned like the game within the game. If that makes sense. Like I'm so excited for the next league because I actually understand the idea of like how to make money very quickly at the beginning of a league that I didn't understand until like 50 or 60 hours into this league. So I feel like I could even go faster in terms of getting geared out so much and even play like a super, super expensive build later on in the next league. But here's this is the build doing Shaper last week. These are the 3 bosses before Shaper. They die in about 2 seconds. And then I'll go fight Shaper in just a second. I died 3 or 4 times because I don't have a spell that is like pretty critical to this build, which pulls all of your pets back to you. And so there's a big AoE phase. And if your pets are just fucking running around willy-nilly, they just get hit by it. You can't pull them back to you without that.
You don't have the sockets for it?
Yeah. This build's very socket heavy, and I didn't want to buy unset rings because I had like 2 really good resistance rings, which kind of sucks for the build, but it still is fine. Like you can play this build with like a 30 chaos investment. Like it's very, very starter and very not super gear dependent. But it's good. It's strong. And yeah, I don't know. That's Path of Exile. Did you spend any more money on their spell sale over the weekend, Ko? Where they had the alternative spell effects?
Bro, I already got everything I wanted.
Yeah, same here. I saw that and I was like, fuck, Everett. Maybe I'll...
Yeah.
I mean, I could buy that and play that type of build, I guess. Maybe.
That's when you know you have a problem, when you're planning builds based around microtransaction effects.
Yeah. And Ko, you mentioned this I think maybe right around when the game came out. But they did the if you message, it's kind of a weird system, but if you message GGG and say I'd like to turn these things into keys basically to give away, they were very receptive to it, and I messaged them on fucking Christmas Day here in the US, and I got a response with the keys in less than 3 hours. Granted, they're really far ahead over there in New Zealand, but like to respond on fucking Christmas Day with like support like that was pretty crazy. So good on them for being... I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, of course we'll let you give us money. I don't fucking care if it's Christmas, but it was nice to be able to give stuff like that to the community. And I still have a shit ton left, which is the scary part. I think I got too much. What are you looking at?
So,
Zeke?
what is hardcore?
Hardcore is well, you know what hardcore is, or do you not? Are you asking for the chat? I don't know if you're being serious here.
I am asking for the chat, but I also do not know.
Okay. All right.
Hardcore is permadeath.
Yeah, hardcore
When
is
you die, your
yeah.
character is erased.
Well, it goes to
Oh.
the void. So yeah.
Gone. It's gone.
It's
You can
basically
no
one
longer-
death. You can't die, or your character's done.
And I think, well, actually, correction. And I, you're right. I said that wrong. When you
What
do
are
a
the
hardcore,
benefits of it?
None.
well, if you get to 100 hardcore, that's like a huge achievement. But and it doesn't delete your character. If you can start a hardcore league, and then if you die, you drop league. Is that what happens?
It goes to standard.
It goes to standard league.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kicks you out of hardcore at that point.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to, if you just get really far with hardcore, it's just this, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same
Okay.
as SSF. You know, it's a way to play the game.
Yeah.
And
Hardcore, by the
is-
way.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly.
But-
in your Prius. But the big thing about hardcore that makes it really interesting is a lot of the top tier PoE players race hardcore every league because you have to start a new character every league. So you'll see really talented people that know their shit that are all doing like Zazarin does like 24-hour plus streams. He'll have a timer in his stream. And
Yeah.
still going?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything froze for me. Okay. But yeah, and a lot of these folks, and what's crazy, and this is what's always kind of fun for me, because I'm on the PoE Reddit a lot. So what's fun is every time one of these big guys dies, they'll post the clip. And like some of the way they die are absolutely hilarious. Just I think last week, one of these people that was really working towards 100, he just running around this level and his fire resists aren't max, and all of a sudden he does a leap slam into the middle of some explosive barrels.
Yep. I saw that.
Instant death. And he's just sitting there like,
Yeah. That's
Now that makes sense. Like that type of hardcore, like that makes sense to play hardcore for that reason.
right. Right. It.
yeah, there's like a whole racing meta to it among those guys.
It's a lot. Like I always get asked. I think anyone that streams PoE, that one of the new viewers are always like, hardcore? Is he playing hardcore? And then they'll make like a split second decision, like, well, let's close that and go to the next stream, or let's see what he's doing. Like that's the normal PoE viewer, new viewer mentality, I feel. And they always ask like, well, why don't you play? And the longer the stream goes on, my answer becomes more and more sarcastic because I'm just so tired of answering it. But they're like,
Oh, I know. I saw your bot command.
yeah. That I literally said those words, like that's verbatim. What I said in response. You'll have to, let's see. I don't even know what my mods make these commands. I don't even know what it is. Someone will spam it here in a sec, and we'll read it. But yeah, I couldn't, like, I watched that same clip, of the guy hitting the exploding barrels and dying. If that happened to me, I wouldn't be mad. I would just be sad. I would be like, fuck.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's funny because you see that exact emotion in that guy's face. He's not like, oh God, I can't believe I died. Like he's barely energetic. He just kind of leans back a little. like I give up.
It would suck, man. It'd be like losing, like, however, I'm sure that character was I'm sure that was a 100-hour plus character. And it'd just be gone.
By the way, for those asking about the clip, it was a while ago. I'll
try to find it, yeah.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't remember the name of the guy. He's another streamer on Twitch, I think.
Yeah. I'll try
No,
to find
I
it.
am never playing hardcore. There is no reason to ask that. I will never play hardcore ever. In the history of Path of Exile, future, past, present tense, hardcore will never occur on this stream.
Yeah, that was towards the end of, I think, my final stream of 2017, yeah.
Now, let me tell you guys this.
Okay.
Listening to you guys talk about how many hours you have invested in this game makes me feel so much better about the hours I've invested in Persona 5.
Yeah? Where are you at, right? Like, how many hours are you in Persona 5?
Oh my God. I'm at 120, like 123, 4, something like that. Hours invested in Persona 5. And a lot of it, and seriously, there's so many reasons why my playthrough, like I'm at half, like a little bit, maybe like right a little bit over the halfway point. And
Really?
120 is like, I've heard is like the average-ish for completing the game.
Yeah.
I'm just barely over halfway. And there's many reasons why. There's a lot, like I take breaks sometimes. I torture myself over every decision. I don't look up like persona combinations, and like I don't min max. I don't look on forums or metagame or anything like that. And also like I read every line, which there is a fuckload of them. Holy shit. Fun, it's good, but there's a lot of them. And that's in fact, yeah.
I do want to talk about Persona.
I don't feel so bad now.
Okay. Well, I do have questions about Persona, but this is that clip that me and Co were just talking about. Here's a guy running vaults.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Shaped vaults, and
everything's fine. Things are great. Oh.
He didn't even die to mobs. He died to exploding barrels.
Look at his face. He's just like,
And the other thing in hardcore, when you're on the ladder, it announces globally that you have died at X position on the ladder. So like when he dies, everyone knows, oh God, that person died. And they respond in chat. It's pretty shitty. And he's just kind of like,
quick, what's the name of that streamer?
Marty POE. Marty POE. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll post the link in chat as well, so if people want to watch it with audio. Because he's just casually talking, he jumps into a corner of exploding barrels and then dies. And he's just like, fuck.
You see, if you look right before it, you can see the little tiny jaw drop when it happens. Just
yeah. The crazy thing too is that he's got 8,500 HP. Like the most HP my characters have, I think my Cyclone Slayer is at 6,400, which is because it's a softcore character. Like I don't need to worry about death. But like 8,500 fucking HP, and he got one shot.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. If the Reddit thread talked about this, and this is one of the reasons.
I'm sorry, I just watched his face. He just goes,
yeah. I mean, how do you respond to that?
This is one of the reasons this whole thing is kind of hilarious, because what that guy was doing was he was attempting to play a little bit more dangerously for speed. And what I'm pretty sure is from reading the Reddit thread that he actually had not 75 fire resist at the time. And that he was like, they were theory crafting in the channel before that happened about how that was viable to do. And then it's like, he hit the explosive barrels and he didn't have max fire resist. And his run came to an abrupt halt. I think the 8,500 HP thing, I think he would have survived if he had cap resistances.
Right. Well, what happened was he had normal 75 resistances, but he was running an LE weakness map, like one of the modifiers was, and he wasn't overcapped, which
he didn't have the 109 stuff.
Yeah, where you need to have like 109 of all the resistances so that when you have LE weakness, you still have very high resistances. So yeah.
Yep.
That's a sad thing. There's an entire Reddit thread, which I'll link in chat if you guys want to go read about a little bit more. But yeah, stuff like that's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I continue on in PoE. I still kind of log in. The need to constantly grind out maps is kind of dropping, and I think that might have been because I killed Shaper, but I still have goals of trying to kill Uber at Zeri this season. But
is that like the next step up?
Uber at Zeri, like normal at Zeri is you can kind of do pretty quickly, but Uber at Zeri is just like a buffed at Zeri. It's a lot of people say it's harder than Shaper just because there's more one shot mechanics in it.
Oh, it's not harder. It's just cheaper.
Well, yes and no.
Okay. The thing is like at Zeri, like I killed at Zeri for the first time this league. Same with Uber Lab, and at Zeri is almost like a classic MMO boss fight. It's multi-phase. Each phase is pretty unique in what you have to do. There's easily some gotchas, especially during one of the phases. It's a lot of PoE boss fights are get next to the boss and kill it within a few seconds with your high DPS stuff. You can't do that with Aziri. And there's a lot of other bosses that you can't do that with either, which is really cool.
Yep.
But those fights are what really make the game interesting. That's actually one of the reasons I'm still playing the game as hard as I am, because there's a lot of those fights I haven't done yet.
Right.
And they actually just introduced like 5 brand new ones with this last expansion, the Elder fights and his bosses. So yeah, they're a lot of fun. And I'm they're a lot of fun. It's almost a reason to play the game just to see them alone.
Yeah, I keep watching like I was watching Dan a lot while I was because he would stream late when I was able to watch Path of Exile, and he would just be like, yeah, we're working towards Shaper, and I'd be like, all right, Shaper, look at it, 4,500 HP, okay, look at the map, all right, level 75, okay, Dan, you got about 100 hours till you get to Shaper if you're not gonna buy anything. So like, I'll be curious to see if he makes it there. I think he's up to like 5.5k HP, and he's doing like tier 15 maps. But you need a little bit more HP than that. You can attempt it, but I just don't want him to fail because I've failed Shaper before, and it sucks. It's a real bad feeling.
I'm gonna be going after Shaper with a sub 5k build. Now, granted, I have MOM, but yeah, it's gonna be bad.
You might get like some of those abilities that you might get one shot like very easily. Like I have MOM with 100 on my Necro, and I lived with 200 HP from his one shot mechanic. So you might just rip right off the bat.
Good,
but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, hey guys, just for today, for a dropped frames special. Remember,
yeah,
Twitter,
they actually
@droppedframes.
allowed us to do this. I know what he's gonna say.
If you go follow @droppedframes right now, we will give you the first 10 hours of PoE for free.
Oh shit!
Free.
Damn.
For free. Here's what's even crazier: if you take that deal, we'll give you the rest of the hours you play for free too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
But today and tomorrow only, or is it just today?
It's just today.
Just
It's
today.
Just today. Okay.
Yeah, if
You
you're
have to
watching on
follow
YouTube, this is a classic case if you just got fucked. So
Yeah,
should have been watching on Twitch.
pretty serious right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zeke, how's Persona? You seem to just be
Well, no. We actually went off topic because he said, "What did you do on New Year's?" And then we went off on Path of Exile.
Oh, that's true. Oh, okay, yeah.
So what did you do on New Year's, JP?
I know what you did on New Year's, but we'll save
What
that
did
for
you
last.
do on New Year's, JP? Well, I want to hear about what you did, though.
I didn't do. I went up to St. Louis on the 28th to celebrate the holidays and whatnot, but also to close on. Well, not close, but to look at a house, which we will be closing on in early February. We put an offer in and everything like that, and I had to meet with a contractor because we're building the set and the studio and stuff like that. It was a whole ordeal, but because of all that, New Year's came around and we were just like, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, I don't either. Okay, let's just fucking do nothing. We just didn't do anything. I think we watched documentaries. We watched the 2 Dave Chappelle things on Netflix.
I watched those myself.
How were they?
Fucking brutal and good.
They were they were super brutal. I think the second one where he was a lot more, it was a very smaller scale show. It was like in a comedy show. It wasn't like a big ballroom or anything.
It was at the Comedy Store in LA, I think.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. But he was able to, like, that one's more of him like telling stories. Like he had his comedy mixed in, but a lot of what he said there was like storytelling, and it was really fucking
it was like
good
VH1 Storytellers is basically kind of what it was.
Yeah. He he says some stuff that the second it was said, I was like, well, that's going to be somewhere on social media tomorrow. I'll be reading about that comment somewhere on social media.
Yeah.
So it can be a very political conversation when talking about that. So we'll leave it at that. But I still think it's worth a watch for sure.
Cool.
Both of almost all of his specials on Netflix are worth a watch. I think he has 3 total now or 4 total, something like that. But it's great. We watched that, and then we watched the Jim Carrey documentary, which phenomenal. Jim and me, or Jim and Andy. Jim and Andy.
Yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah, where he basically had a documentary crew follow him around when he was filming Man on the Moon, where he played not Andy.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah. Andy Kaufman. And that was a crazy thing. Like, Jim Carrey's kind of a crazy person, but he's also not crazy at all. He's a really good actor. It was insane.
Well, in that particular role, he really wanted to do. He did method like all the way through it, like just method acting. And he was, once he got to the set, he was Andy or Cliff.
Tony
Clifton.
Yeah. That was a crazy
And let me
thing.
tell you, like, watching people like on the sides of him go, like, just react to what he was doing. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get fucking decked.
Yeah. Well, especially by Lawler, by the fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, he pissed him off more than Andy did, which is crazy.
Oh, and he really clocked him in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, he hauled off and clocked Jim Carrey right in the fucking chops.
It's a really good documentary.
Because Jim as Andy wanted that to happen, and he had pissed off Jerry Lawler so much that he just goes whap and just like really, really gave it to him.
Yeah. I highly recommend that. That documentary. It was a fantastic watch.
Me too.
Especially for content creators. I think there's a lot of parallels to what Jim's saying in terms of like, you know, you create this mask for yourself and you either got to decide to fully become that person or not, or just drop it. And like, there's a lot of parallels, I think, that content creators and more so like actors and whatnot, when they play roles, kind of fill. And it's crazy to see that.
Was that documentary up to current times? Like, what has he been up to lately?
Well, it's him talking like present day, and they have the old footage. So it's him
cool.
talking for like an hour and a half present day, with all the old footage kind of interspliced and kind of telling the story along that. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's been up to lately. I know there was a lot of drama, or there was some drama recently about him, but I don't know if he's filming a movie or anything recently.
I think we need.
He's gone down the path. Oh,
What? Everyone talked at once. What was that?
What's up, Zeke?
no, I think Jim Carrey's gone down the path of a few select rich and famous people who've gotten so rich and so famous that they get to the top and then they tip over to being just super fucking weird. Like people like Michael Jackson did it. Garth Brooks did it with the Chris Gaines thing. Like Jim Carrey's like done it. He's like, he got too big and too famous. And now it's just like, let's see how weird we can get with this.
And I didn't realize this because I was a kid in the 90s, but The Mask, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber were like 3 of the highest grossing movies of all time back then, or something like that. And he had like he was like $50 million or some shit in the mid 90s. Like, I didn't realize he was doing that well. I feel like once you get to that amount of money, you kind of get a little weird because you just don't fucking care anymore. You can just do whatever the fuck.
Not a
is
lot of
going
people
on.
get to the end game of life.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Most people are just leveling and kind of, kind of dealing with life, but eventually you get to the point where you've just beaten life.
Yeah.
And at that point you enter the end game. And what you do there is you pick your class. Do you want to be a crazy kook? Do you want to be an investor? Do you want to be charitable? You pick your class, and then you kind of specialize down that skill line. So you have people like Michael Jackson who actually changed classes.
He
in his
did.
end game. And then you have people like okay, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore.
Dude, the Dave Chappelle has a great...
No, it's like once you've got all the raid gear, like what the fuck else is there to do?
Dude, Dave Chappelle has a great bit about Michael Jackson in his comment. I highly recommend you watch that stuff, Co. It is very...
I'll definitely check it out. I love Jim Carrey, man.
Yeah.
I've always loved Jim Carrey. So
it's also a good... If you're in a relationship and it's pretty early on or like middling in terms of length, watch the Dave Chappelle specials with them, and you can very quickly see if it's going to last via what you're watching, because you could be like, are you laughing at that? Because I kind of want to laugh at that.
Hold on, watch the Dave Chappelle special with what?
With someone you're dating, if it's like early on in the relationship.
Oh.
Because it'll very
okay.
quickly tell like where you kind of fall down the line in a sense. Yeah. So.
I can totally see that, man. Like I would say, dude, I can laugh at anything, and I would say this was, I laughed a lot at the first one especially.
Yeah.
But a lot of those laughs were laughs that I might have restrained in open company.
Yep. I'm glad that it was just me and Aaron watching, because if it was like her parents or something like that, or any other person that I'm not comfortable with, I would have just been like, it's not that funny. But inside I would have been like, man, that's fucking hilarious. Like, that's fucking funny. That's a pretty good line. But yeah, he skirts the edge for sure. So yeah, we watched that stuff on New Year's. Zeke, you sent out a tweet that shocked me to my core on New Year's Eve. And I was surprised, to say the least. Was that premeditated, or was that I'm going to wake up? You woke up that day and said, let's play some Bashi.
Okay. The reason why I did that.
Yeah.
It's honestly like a lot of my ideas are crowdsourced from my mods in our Discord group. We talk about it. We talk about it like stuff that's coming up, and this was an idea from Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And my mod Scott said, I think, and this was like 2 days before New Year's. He's like, I think you should do a Bashi New Year's. I went, no, I don't fucking want to. I said the only way I'll do it is if I promise that this is the last time I will ever play Bashi again, ever.
Really?
This is the last time. And I made that promise, and I will never pick this game up again, ever. I'm done with it. Completely, 100%, never, unless someone pays me $10 million. It's the same, it's the same bet. It's the same bet that I had going with if the showing my asshole on stream, like someone paid me $10 million, I'd do it. Same with Bashi now. It's in the $10 million category.
Okay.
There it is.
But now you have
5 years from now, you're going to have like a laundry list of this is what I'm going to do for $10 million. And then some asshole is going to come along and is going to PayPal it to you and just ruin your life.
Yep.
I'll ruin my life with $10 million. Ruin my life, please. Ruin it.
I'm talking about by the time it's like a laundry list where it's like,
oh,
it's
sure.
like 30 plus things of things you'd never want to do ever because you'd never expect it to happen. And then some dude's just going to walk in and make it all
You make a good point. You make a good point, but let's see what else I can add to the list.
Yeah. Well, also, Zeke, you need to go and alter the list so that Show Your Asshole is the last one, because if you do that, you're banned. So you have to do everything else first before that occurs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm sure if I added something to the list, there's going to be a few more bannable offenses on the list if it's a $10 million. If it's on the 10 mil list.
Because that's essentially going out in a blaze of glory at that point.
No,
so you got it. Or something.
People are saying 10 million each. No, man, 10 million. 10 million is fine. I can live off 10 million for the rest of 2 lifetimes.
Zeke's a cheap date. He only needs 10 million. It's fine.
Yeah,
like
true.
He only needs
by adding more things to the list, it's making it more enticing.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
Someone who wants to pay.
It's true. So, was there any progress made, or was it simply just none at all? Okay,
absolutely no progress.
Okay,
I am not good enough to beat this game. I have said this before. I am not a skilled enough player to beat this game. Like, it's not a strategy game. It's reaction game. It's pattern recognition, which I can do.
Yeah.
But moving to those patterns and not like moving just a bit too far or jumping just a bit too high, I am not good at that at all. I can't make it work. I've gotten up to this point and I feel I've done enough. It's taken so much of my soul. I don't want to give it anymore.
Okay, fair enough. I get it.
But yeah, so yeah, it was fun. We did that, and then we did the Phil Collins In the Air Tonight countdown.
So you did right at the right time to get the
Well, I fucked it up for Central Standard Time, but I nailed it for Mountain Time, which is my time. This is awesome. This is when I nailed it. So we're getting ready.
Wait, is that a thing? It hits New Year's when the drums come in or something?
Yep, it's that. Yeah, right at midnight, that drum solo. So I queued it up. It was like 158.40 or something like that, and I played the song, and it actually nailed it on the second try. The first try I fucked it up because I keep fucking forgetting, and I hate this thing about YouTube, is if you press your number key, the fucking YouTube video will skip. Like if you hit 2, it'll go like 20% into the video.
Yeah. If
you hit the number pad 3, it'll go like 30% of the video. And that's where my fucking hotkeys are for my scene switchers.
Yeah.
So I fucked it up.
It's about to be 2018, guys, in 5 seconds. I like.
There it is. Yep.
I like it.
Midnight.
I like it. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had listened to songs. We had some drinks. Got a little inebriated. Got a little feelsy at the end there. And man, I gotta say, it was a fucking shit ton better than going out in this fucking cold ass 4 foot of snow,
Ooh.
ruts as deep as your fucking thigh,
Ooh.
Montana weather. Staying home was so much better, and I got to spend it with people that actually like me, which was also nice.
How cold was it there in Montana? I want to do a comparison thing because I got to experience some cold ass temperatures, but I don't know if it was Montana cold ass temperatures. So how cold was it?
No, I mean, I don't know. Like at the coldest point, it was like 15 below 0 Fahrenheit.
I was colder than what I got to experience. We got down to -5, and I did the.
Okay.
I'm gonna step outside, and I'm good. I come back inside.
Yeah, you get those ones where you get you can have like a boiling pot of water, and then you open your front door and you throw it out and it just frosts.
Yeah. Yep. It was pretty chilly for sure. How cold was it in North? Because it's cold pretty much. I think didn't yesterday it freeze in all 50 states or something like
The last
that?
5 days have been the definition of dodging a bullet for us.
Really?
Because for the last 5 days, the ground has been frozen. We have been waking up to single-digit temperatures and like highs of low 20s throughout the day. The thing that we avoided was any type of precipitation. Like if it had even rained over the last 5 days, like we would have been screwed. If there had been a thunderstorm, like a crazy storm system over the last 4 days, my power would probably be out. Like we got real lucky. And it's just supposed to start snowing actually today or tomorrow, but thankfully it's supposed to get a little bit warmer.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I made the mistake of when I got off the plane yesterday.
North Carolina. For those asking, I'm in NC.
Oh yeah. I made the mistake when I left of turning off my AC, so I came home yesterday and it got to like 15 or 12 or something like that in San Antonio, but I didn't have my heat on at all. So I came home yesterday and my house was like 44 or 45 degrees inside, and it's also really bad because I didn't know it was going to freeze, but it's also really bad because apparently your pipes can burst if you just switch on the heat in the middle of winter. Yep. So luckily nothing is busted yet and the house is warmed back. So
and for those of you like saying Fahrenheit, it's like that's what we got, man.
Yeah, that's what we got. Sorry,
we got the goddamn the royal system or whatever the fuck it's called. It's what we grew up with, and it sucks. I don't want to use it either. I want to use Celsius. Yeah, I want to use metric.
It's just what we know. Yeah, there probably is a lot of European people that are just like these stupid Americans using this.
Trust me, we think it's dumb too.
Pretty true.
Imperial, whatever. Fuck you.
It's fine. We don't use it. We don't know what the fuck it's called. You know, we learned about that in school.
Or whatever it's called, prompting them to say something, and then they said something like, "Screw you."
Yeah.
No, I know. I feel the right to say that because I'm an asshole.
And as an asshole, you have that right, Zeke. Well played.
That's right. It's in our doctrine for sure.
Exercise your right. That's right.
Without a doubt. Did you guys make any New Year's resolutions?
No.
I never make promises I can't keep.
Yeah.
I made the mistake last year.
What was your resolution last year? Should we revisit that to see how bad you felt it?
I can just tell you. My resolution last year was to have all of my things that I owed the community done this year.
Oh,
and the big thing, to be fair, the big thing was that.
Yeah.
And I got that done. So that's good. That was like the thing I've been waiting on for years. But I was also supposed to do like the Planescape Torment playthrough. I couldn't get Arcanum working properly. My Dark Souls 3 speedrun got bumped back this month. So yeah. I'm not making another New Year's resolution. Oh, you know what? Well, no. I will say this. This isn't like a specific New Year's resolution, but this was a change that I made at the last of last year.
Yeah.
And I've multiple times said that moving forward, this is how I'm going to conduct it, because I will not get into a situation again where my top 10 potentially doesn't even have the chance of including multiple games that are on other people's Game of the Year list. And that is this year, even if I don't like it, even if I think I won't like it, I still plan on trying pretty much every major release.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
So for instance, I'm going to be playing Ni no Kuni 2.
Oh, good. Okay. I hope it's good.
Games like that. Like if I look at a game and I think it's too anime, I'm still going to try it. And you know what? I got to admit, something to talk about later, not now, but like Xenoblade was a great example of something that I looked at. I even watched other people streamed, and I said, this probably isn't for me. Dude, I'm going, when I look at the little timer in my bottom right, even though I left it on for a day, I have 80 hours in Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Like I have played that game probably 10 plus hours offline. I have farmed it for hours. Like and every time I play it, it gets better in my eyes. So, and yeah, that was my big thing this year.
Yeah.
I need to at least try stuff so I can tell people why I don't like it or why it's not on my top 10.
That makes sense.
Speaking of timers, can I just say I hate the fact that the Persona 5, every time I fucking save the game, it shows how much gameplay I've had, how much game time I've had. Because inevitably, every time I save it, someone will look at that. I save it as fast as I can. I'm like, doop, 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 save. But inevitably, someone in chat will be like, he's got blank hours and he's only this far?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That makes sense.
I'm just
I
like,
can
I'm
see
so
that happening.
sick of it.
Any comparative point? I mean, it happened too when we were talking about the weather. We were all throwing out temperatures, and there's like, well, that's not cold. Like,
Yep.
That I've gotten to the point where if I tweet anything about temperature, regardless of what it is, I do not read any replies to it because I know that someone out there is gonna be like, well, that's not that cold. It was blah 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 in my house, blah 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 blah. So it's just one of those things. Co, to go back to your trying everything this year, does that mean Kingdom Hearts 3 is a potential try?
Maybe so, man.
Okay. All right.
The thing is for me,
Okay.
I'm going to approach a game without any no's. It's real easy to come up with a reason not to play a game. So my resolution is to basically bypass those. Another game that I might try this year that I completely passed up, 100%, never planned on playing it. I got to try it though. Life is Strange.
Oh, you're gonna hate that.
Oh, well, God damn it, JP.
You think?
I don't.
Think so?
Well,
People have told me I
I
would
gotta
love
try
it.
it. I have to try it. But I've had most people tell me like you need to play it. So that's interesting. That was not the reaction I was expecting.
the story in Life is Strange is like phenomenal. I just don't know if you'll like the gameplay aspect of it because it's a Walking
I like
Dead
Telltale
game.
games.
Yeah. I mean, you might like it then, but
Again, I got to try it just so I know if someone says, "Hey, do you like Life is Strange?" I can be like, "No, I don't like it, and here's why." I can't do that right now. I can just say no, I don't like it, and I've never tried it, and that sounds dumb.
Here's the
Especially
thing.
considering we're supposed to do this for a living. You know what I mean?
No, I if you make it to the third episode or the end of the second episode of Life is Strange, you'll finish it. Just because it's got a good enough of a hook where you're just like, well, I got to see this through because what the fuck is happening? So,
Cool.
yeah, just make it through the first two, and it's not that long of a game. I think each one's like a couple hours each episode. I think it's been a while since I've played that, so
We'll see. Well, we're doing Xenoblade first, and then Persona 5. We're gonna try that, and then we'll start working through the log. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
yeah. There's something else I was good at. It's escaping me. It's gone. It doesn't matter. Let's talk a little bit about this bit life. They are. I was about to say life are billions, but they are billions because this has got that Darkest Dungeon effect right now on Twitch, man. Where it's coming out in early January. Everyone's fucking losing their shit over it, and it seems really simple. Like it doesn't seem like there's that much going on in the game. It's just the difficulty is keeping everyone watching. But I haven't played it. Co has. I don't think Zeke's touched it. Zeke might have watched a little bit about it. So,
No, I haven't. I haven't watched any of it, and it's one of those games that I'm going to wait until like the hype is kind of like tapered off,
yeah,
and pick it up just to check it out. They say it's real time strategy, sort of with the ability to pause,
yeah,
which is good.
Pausing's a big
So
thing. in the
hold
game.
on. Oh, go.
Yeah, let's just let Co explain
Okay.
it.
They Are Billion is an excellent combination of relatively simple RTS mechanics combined with a very fun tower defense style zombie mechanic. And the game itself is designed to be played multiple times. It is a game that you will fail frequently and with gusto. It is easy to fail. The game is designed so if one thing goes wrong, that can telescope out near instantaneously. And more importantly, the RTS aspect of it is interesting enough to where the different people you watch will all play it differently. Like right there, you just saw this map lose. You just watched it. If you go back a little bit and you look in that northwest area, right there at the top left of the screen, then you'll see I let one zombie through, and he broke down that building at the top. And when a zombie breaks down a building, it spawns more zombies, and they just ran over in the middle of my base and then spawn more zombies. And by that point, you're done. You're like, that's game over. And that happens all the time. Now, some people are super attentive and they can get around that stuff. And there's all sorts of in-game mechanics. You can build walls everywhere, and you can set people to patrol routes. And the game gives you lots of different ways to avoid this terrible ending. But even with those, especially on the more difficult maps, and actually something else I'll address in a second, for various other reasons, it can be really difficult. Now, another reason that I think you're seeing a lot of people really enjoy this game is it is a game that is not only designed to be played frequently, like multiple rounds. There's 4 maps, and each of those 4 maps have different difficulty levels, like how many zombies are there, how many days you have until the big wave comes, things like that. And then as you beat those maps, you work through them. Now, every time you start a new map, it completely randomizes everything on the play field. You never play the same map twice. And as such, every map is an entirely new set of strategies. Where are my choke points going to be? How am I going to address these large open areas? What resources do I have? How close are they? How much open area do I have? How much grass do I have as opposed to sand that I can't put stuff on? What are going to be this map's disadvantages? Can I get enough food early game? Am I close to a water source? Like, there's all these different things that come up at the beginning. And one of those things will completely change how you potentially play that map. So, and then once you factor in all this stuff, like you can see, the first thing you do that I do is explore, like, what do I have to work with here? And then once you start actually playing the game, there are many, many, many different systems that work in parallel. So there is no like one way to grow a town. And even then, based on your map, you may prioritize some buildings over others. You have a lot of choke points, great. You can use walls. You can maybe get a few soldiers, throw them in some towers, are good. You don't have any open area? Well, you better rush archers. You're surrounded by zombies? Well, you don't want soldiers because they make too much noise. So you got to bring in more archer guys. And every map can kind of mix it up like that. But really, and this is the TLDR of it all, this game is a very fun, almost rogue-like game that is a excellent combination of RTS and tower defense mechanics. And the entire point is to build up your base to where on the final day, you will get and you get multiple little waves until then, but the final day, you get one big alarm, you have 24 hours to prepare, and all 4 sides of the maps become basically just giant red lines of zombies as they pour into your base, and everything you've been doing for the past 3 to 5 hours comes to a head at that time. So yeah, it's not only fun, but it's one of those games where if you bring up a stream and the streamer's like doing pretty well, then you're set for like the next couple hours, because it's going to be fun not only seeing if they can make it, but then like the big finale at the end of every map is this giant horde, and to see if the streamer can win through that. And I've had many, well, I've beaten, today I beat the second map. So I'm on the 3rd map now, and the current one I have is going well. Okay. But I've had probably 4 or 5 attempts, and we're talking like 2 to 4 hour attempts that have completely crumbled in the final wave. Like they get through one little spot, or they break down a little area you weren't expecting, and all of a sudden they're pouring into the backside of your base. Maybe you didn't get your turrets upgraded fast enough. Maybe, like there's all sorts of things that can go wrong. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and blew me away.
The maps aren't the same every time?
No, the map is completely randomized every time in terms of where water, trees, resources, layouts, choke points, most importantly. Like, what's kind of interesting is if you look on this map, this map was the first time that I didn't have anything on the east. So if you look on the east side, that giant wall, that is the border in which I can build up to. And I actually ended up beating this map. But I had to extend all the way to the side, wall off the entire east side completely, and then basically just pray that I had enough stuff set up. It was a tough one.
Now, when you say maps, if they're constantly changing, what makes the maps different, like from map 1 to map 2, if they're like procedurally generated or whatever?
So there's 4 different map types, and each one has attributes associated with them. So the first map is pretty easy. You might have you may have 1 or 2 what are called doom towns, which are basically like towns that are just there. And if you get near them or make too much noise by them, zombies just pour out like a huge amount. But if you can destroy the towns, then you get a lot of resources. So in the first map, it's generally pretty open, pretty easy. You don't have huge doom towns everywhere. It's okay. The second map, you have more doom towns. And the second map was really tough for me because like the first 10 times I rolled on it, there was one of these towns like within sight of my home base. And remember, if you make even slightly too much noise and you wake that town up, you're not going to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that was really difficult. The third map I'm on now is in a winter environment. So on the third map, not only is there not a lot of farmland, everything's iced over. Some trees are dead, which don't provide as much food resource. And then most importantly, your guys move and fire slower, and the zombies move slower. So on this third map, I'm having serious issues because in the first two maps, I could walk around with a group of snipers. And because snipers normally can just barely kill everything in front of them, I was great. But on the ice map, my zombies don't line up their shots fast enough to prevent some enemies from attacking. So unlike the first two maps, when I walk around with a group of snipers, they're constantly just taking a little bit of damage, and then they constantly are dying. And I'm having to like send out more and more and more snipers. And I haven't had to do that in the last two maps. And then I've heard the fourth map, which I haven't gotten to, is just ridiculous. I've heard it's easily the hardest map. And keep in mind, I have played map 1, 2, and 3 on normal difficulty. You can also play them on easy by increasing the amount of days and reducing the amount of zombies on the map. But some streamers, a great example being Richard Hammer, who has been playing this game a lot, what they do is they jack all those values all the way up. So he's on like map 4, which if you play map 4 on normal, your score modifier is 160%, right? Just for reference. It's 160 if you play map 4 on normal.
Okay.
Well, he jacks up so many zombies on the map, and he makes it so he only has 80 days instead of 100, and his modifier is like 500% score. So if it gives you an idea about how hard you can make it if you like it, this game can get incredibly difficult. So yeah, and this right here, this is the big end push that you're seeing here. I was able to take down most of these sides, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, and if you aren't set up for this phase, they'll just walk right over you.
I had a lot
Now,
of people...
is there any unlockables or like upgrades or anything like that?
Oh, tons. Yeah, throughout the you start out with like tech level 1, and that has like a whole bunch of stuff associated with it, and then you build a wood workshop, and that allows you to build not only a bunch of new tech, but then the stone workshop. You put the stone workshop down, you get a whole bunch of stone related tech, then you can build the foundry. Foundry is when you start churning out things like titans, which are mechs. There's also thanatoses, which are southern dudes that are hilarious. And if you see that rocket that just fired right down there, that's a thanatos unit. You can also start making things like executor turrets. You can make shock towers, like all sorts of stuff later in the game to really kind of flesh out what you want to do. And what's interesting is if you look down there, this is how I play it. But some people don't use towers. Some people use almost all shock towers. Some people don't use thanatoses and like titans instead. Some people load up on soldiers and put those. Like there's so many different ways that you can succeed in the game that it kind of lets you find your own play style and kind of utilize that. It's nice. It's nice.
What
So this game you can like in the style of FTL, you can pause it and think about things. Like I mean, you have
a huge part of the game. Yes, I pause all the time. Yeah, you pause.
I'm sure
here's another. Here's a big thing, and Zeke, not only is pausing good, but they reward you for pausing. If you pause the game and you start building, if the game is still paused, then you can remove any building and you're totally good. But if it's not paused, if you put a building down, you have to destroy it to remove it. So it's like you lose the resources, you lose the time, it makes noise, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, what were you saying, JP?
What is the ultimate win condition?
I just wanted to know, is there...
Is the ultimate win condition just clearing?
There, Zeke. Oh, I'm sorry. What, JP?
Is the ultimate win condition just clearing zombies?
The ultimate win condition to get that screen, which is the game 1 screen, you have to kill every single zombie of all 4 of the cardinal groups.
Okay.
And also an important thing to remember is when the final group comes in, every single remaining zombie on the map comes with them. And I lost a game because of that. So those Doom Towns that I talked about earlier, if you have not cleared all the Doom Towns off the map, they will just pour zombies into those big lines. Oh. And on one of the maps, it just became completely unmanageable. Like there were just simply too many zombies. They flooded so much across my wall that they spilled over the sides and went into areas they weren't supposed to because they were like bouncing off each other trying to get into my base. It was terrible.
How much when this game started, I guess last week when it started like becoming really popular on Twitch, a lot of people are tweeting me like, "Oh, you jump in this, it's RTS, blah blah blah." Like, how much do you think RTS skill translates into this game, or does it not?
This game is an RTS at heart. It is a 90% RTS with a 10% tower defense. It's basically a good way to think about it is you are playing an RTS, you are surviving as long as you can, and there are mechanics that make it so enemies are constantly coming to you. That's the only thing that really separates this from a basic RTS, is the fact that enemies are constantly trying to enter your base and kill you. And of course,
but if it's an RTS, that means you can't pause it, right? So would it really be considered an RTS?
All RTS means is real-time strategy. You can still many RTSs you can pause. That's it. You don't being pausable does not an RTS not make. Okay, I said that totally wrong. But yeah, you can pause RTSs. That's not a big deal.
Okay,
it's not in like multiplayer. It's most of the time you can't pause. It's because the games usually have like multiplayer, some reason that you can't. But like single player RTSs, you can pause.
Is there a set like a setting for like no pause?
I don't think there's a setting, but there are many people that do challenge runs and will put in their title no pause run. It is kind of like, remember how Lethal Frag used to do no pause FTL runs?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
that's kind of what people do with this. They'll give themselves challenges, and when you're on the level of like a Richard Hammer or an Abu Baru, like when you've already beaten the most difficult map and you're just doing stuff to do it essentially. That's when you start seeing people do like crazy difficult challenges like that. And there's some really good smaller RTS streamers that you should see some of the stuff they pull off in this game. Like some of the people that are really good at StarCraft, you see that unit on the left side, those are Rangers. And those units are much quicker than anything on the map. So what you'll see if you tune into the right StarCraft player is the amount of micro, and also funny enough, some mobile players
and stuff like that.
The amount of micro you can do, if you're really good at microing in an RTS, you can take those 3 Rangers that you see down there and clear so many more zombies than if they were to just sit there and do things. Like if it's really impressive what some people can do with the micro in this game.
Can you make control groups?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
If you look if you see me in the bottom left there, there's that line.
I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
The thing that
it's got full hotkeys, full stats, full control groups. It's got everything a basic RTS needs.
Okay.
To function.
The thing that surprised me, at least when I bought it and downloaded it, I haven't loaded it yet, but it was only a gig. Like, yeah. So I guess
you have to think about it though. You're looking at the entire game. Like, this is all it is.
Right, but it's pretty impressive how much shit there is on screen for a gig. Like,
good time to mention, by the way, this game is early access. It is not done. And one of the reasons I actually took so long to play it was because I know that they're developing a pretty deep story mode. They're making a mode where you like play through surviving in multiple, I don't know if it's multiple areas or, but apparently they're adding like a story component. And I was going to try to wait for that, but that's unfortunately, I learned later, not coming out until March. So I wanted to play it before then. But there is more of this game on the way, and they're adding more game modes and stuff too.
Ko, your skipping of the grid is triggering me so hard. Is that to create a path? Is that why you just did that?
Oh yeah, you have to.
Okay.
Yep. No. Trust me, I would have big long lines too. But if you put those are tents, and those can be upgraded into cottages and houses and stuff later. That's your basic income and how you kind of grow your population. And if you don't put little breaks in them, then your slower units like snipers, just getting them to the right place can sometimes lose you a game if you don't give them quick enough passing.
Okay. What the other thing, line of sight comes into play for units? Is that true?
Oh my God, completely. There's entire towers that are the entire point of them is just to give you line of sight to areas. It's huge. You can get radar towers later.
I'm asking like RTS questions here because that's where my mind is going. Like,
for sure, man.
In terms of elevation, can you see up elevation, or alternatively, can you see down elevation?
There's no elevation in the game.
Oh, there are elevation.
Mountains.
Okay.
There are mountains, which you can see the mountains in the top right of the screen. All they are is a static object that you cannot LOS through. You can't fire through them. There's forests, which are the same way. You can see the woods in the bottom right. And then there is water, which is like a big open area as well. But it's all on the same plane. There is no higher ground. There's no hills. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
Can you remove obstacles? Like, can you tunnel through rocks or
You know what? No.
remove trees? Okay.
You can't do that yet. I think they've talked about doing that. And honestly, Zeke, not only is that a really good idea, I hope they add, but the thing that is really concerning is if you look in the middle of the screen, those are resources that are stone. There's stone, iron, gold, all over the map. And you can't remove it and you can't build on it. So sometimes you can get into these really annoying situations where like you need to put a wall there, but you can't build around it. Or maybe like there'll be a perfect choke point, but on one side of it is a big stone thing. So you can't actually put a wall there. Or, you know, maybe there'll be a big stone thing in the middle of where you want to put your houses. So you can't line up your houses properly. And, you know, it's right now you can't do that. But there has been talk on the forums that they're going to be adding that later. I haven't heard anything from the devs though.
Okay. People have obviously it's been a super hype thing, and people have come into my chat and say like, "Hey, are you ever going to play There Billions?" Because everyone else is, you know, it's a big deal.
It's fun to watch.
And I was kind of turned off. I was kind of turned off to it because real time strategy. Like I said, I tried to play StarCraft, tried to play like a few other games, and they're great and they're fun, but I'm no good at them because I am so fucking indecisive. That's why turn-based things were so good for me. Like Persona's all turn-based, Darkest Dungeon all turn-based, XCOM all turn-based. Like I could do those and I could do pretty well at those. But do you think I would struggle playing this?
I will say this, dude. Now, I'd love to be able to tell you that this is easier than a normal RTS, but to be honest, I have had more difficulty in it. I did not beat my first map in the first 15 hours of me playing it. But here's the thing that I think would be most important for you. You are expected to fail in this game. It's not the type of thing where, you know, if you die, it very similar to the way that I feel playing a game called RimWorld. Restarting is almost half the fun. Like seeing what your new map has to offer, seeing what choke points are around you, you know, deciding how you're going to handle this map. It's part of the game to fail. And the amount you learn by failing is huge. The only reason I've ever been able to win this game is because of how many times I failed. So, and you can pause it whenever you want. So you can just, whenever you want for as long as you want. So you can really take your time kind of putting things down and you know, figuring out what you want to do to survive and succeed. But it is harder than a normal RTS, but it's okay to fail. It's totally fine to fail.
Can you stop and reset the map? Be like, I don't fucking like this map. I'm gonna restart.
Oh, for sure.
Is that part of the game?
What a lot of people do is re-roll their first maps. So they'll start a map and they'll send out. You get 4 rangers and a soldier at the beginning, and they'll start a map and they'll send off their rangers in the 4 different directions, and they'll just take a look at their area. And let's say the guy goes south and 3 inches down there's a Doom Town. Most streamers just go, okay, re-roll, you know, and they'll just like restart the game and do a new map. Or, you know, like me, one of the hardest parts of this game is the early game. So even if you have a great map, again, it takes one zombie going in the wrong place and your run's done. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. And honestly, another thing about watching this on Twitch, this is one of those games where most of the people watching are just waiting for you to fail and to see how you fail. Like that's just what it is. It's a beautiful disaster when some of these fall apart. And the devs did a great job of like the zombie mechanic really going from 0 to 60. You know, if you fail a lot of times, you fail hard and you fail fast. And it can be a lot of fun to kind of see how different people handle it. Especially towards the end of the game.
I mean, it's starting to convince me. It's starting to get enticing.
I'm gonna check it out today after stream.
You can pause it. Well, here's the thing. It has 2 things going against it for me: tower defense, which I never really cared for, and RTS, which I'm just bad at.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can pause it, the fact that you can reroll maps, so many options and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out eventually.
If nothing else, dude, you should try it just to see if you like it. It is an RTS at heart, but it feels and plays more like kind of like a roguelike, I think. Like the fact that it's really cool it's fine to die, it's fine to restart. Those really aren't classic RTS mechanics. So they kind of add a side to this game that I think make it really enjoyable. And it's definitely worth it.
When you die, how long have you been playing? Like how many hours did you just play and then die and have to start over?
That last one?
No, on a normal run.
Oh, and it depends on how early you die. A full run can take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. But
Okay.
when you get to like that 2 hour mark, a lot of times you're kind of in the groove at that point. You know, you've got a relatively well defended town. You're not going to get killed by like there gets a point where if you get by it, then you're kind of working towards the end game. And that's like at about the 1.5, 2 hour mark. Most of my towns die in the first 30 minutes to an hour, and some even earlier than that, especially depending on the map. Yeah.
Well, that's good though. I mean, I like that you don't have to like wait and set up for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever before you find out that your town is shit.
Yeah.
Or your defense is shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure
Okay,
it's
cool.
going to take a little bit to learn the knowledge to know that your town is shit in the beginning.
It's going to take
Yeah.
10 plus just total town fails until you start like connecting. Okay, I need to use walls more often. I need to put people on shorter patrols. I need to make sure my choke points are managed better. I need to get more soldiers quicker. Like all these decisions are going to determine how well you do, especially early game. And like those rangers down there that you see at the bottom, I used to never make those. In fact, I hated rangers. I never used to make them. And on the first couple maps, that was fine. But when I got to these maps, too many zombies too early. I had to get a soldier center down quicker. I had to get rangers up quicker. And, you know, it's just, you just gotta kind of adapt as it hits you with it. This one, if you look in the right side, if you see that soldier standing there,
Yep.
in about 15 minutes, I put that soldier on a patrol for that whole area. And he walks up to the top and he engages 3 zombies and he's shooting them and everything's fine. And while he's up at the top there, if you see that little tiny fishing hut in the bottom right,
Yeah.
one little zombie comes on in, taps on that door a few times, and all of a sudden there's 3 little zombies. And then all of a sudden those 3 little zombies go to that little sawmill down there, and there's 6 little zombies. And that's about the time that I noticed something was wrong. And at that point, by the time I started sending soldiers over there, those zombies made their way to those tents you see on the bottom right there, and they made some more buddies. Because you see, all they have to do is the zombies walk up to one of those tents, and they go, tap, tap, and those tents get switched, and every single citizen in the tent, which is like 4 to 10 depending, all become zombies and erupt out of it. And then they go off to the closest tent and do the same thing. And it's just like right on through your town. It's like some kind of crazy, virulent, mad cancer that just makes its way through your town. And it's crazy. It's fun to watch though. It's one of the reasons I will restart right when I lose, but many times I'll just watch.
Just let it play out.
They did such a great job with the horde. It's nice.
Couple things. One, I love that people get infected. People in the town get infected and become enemies. So it's exponential growth. For once you like, if you let one through, you could be fucked in like whatever few minutes.
One zombie has ended multiple runs of mine.
Yeah,
One
I like that.
Mhm.
Nice.
And I also like that you like for the first time on Twitch in I don't know however many years, outside of a charity event, you used the word cancer, and it actually fit. It actually was like it spreads like a cancer throughout the town. It's like, hey, that's actually a good use of that word.
I have to admit, as I was starting to say that, I knew I was going to say cancer at the beginning, and I almost didn't. It's funny that you said that, but then I was like, you know what?
No, I
Actually,
picked up on that because that's a buzzword.
Yeah.
You know, my brain picks up on that. I went, oh, that's okay. He used it correctly, and it was very descriptive.
Yeah. No, it worked. More RTS questions. Does it have shift queuing, Co? Can you like shift queue actions?
And that's actually I think that's something they've already announced is also on the way. There's no waypointing of any kind.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Dude, JP, seriously, as a StarCraft player,
No, I'm playing it already. Like,
yeah, okay, you've got to try this.
I think I'll play it today after drop frames for sure.
I think you'll be actually pretty good at this. I think it'll probably take you 3 or 4 maps to kind of get the idea down, and then I could see you pretty much excelling at this.
Yeah.
Based off what I've seen you do with StarCraft.
Yeah, I'm pretty like after watching. I watched Dan. I watched you play this morning. I watched Dan play yesterday. I was watching a lot of Baru at the 500% stuff. Baru gets pretty. Dan doesn't get too upset. He just yells at himself. Baru just gets real upset. I used to think Baru is a pretty chill streamer. He gets pretty tilted at this game for sure.
It's fun. It's funny you say that because I was under the same impression. I did not know that he got that angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always assumed he was like a big fluffy panda streamer, you know, like all the
Same.
panda emotes and totally chill, relaxed, and it's like.
Yeah.
So yeah. I dropped it a couple times when he lost it. So
Yeah.
it's fun. I think the key word is it's fun. It's fun to see like that much investment in the game, and that like it's great.
Yeah. Zeke, what is your face of disgust or wow?
No, it's not. It's not discussed. I'm counting. I mean, I would say probably. Oh my God, probably like at like 25% of my follow list is playing this fucking game.
Oh yeah, no, it's taking over Twitch right now for sure. Yeah.
Dude, this morning was a great example. This is the game since Path of Exile for me that has the gaming time dilation effect, where you will be playing this game and it is beyond easy to lose track of time. Just today, if it wasn't, I looked up and I saw what JP had said, and it was 12:25, and we had drop frames at 1, so 35 minutes until I was supposed to be on the show, and I'm sitting here without a care in the world playing They Are Billions. No, like I was planning on leaving at 11:30 so I get some lunch. Nope. And I mean, New Year's Day, the day after New Year's, I get on and I tell everyone, hey, we're gonna play They Are Billions, and then we're gonna play Xenoblade. It's gonna be great.
That's where I was watching.
And
yeah.
then 4:30 walked around, and I just looked at the clock, and I was like, oh my God, I just made a liar of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's just you get so focused because so many things are going on at once. You're trying to manage all these things, and you're gold capped, and all of a sudden you need more resources, and then you got to get your warehouse going. And it's just boom, always something you're working towards. And yeah, it's very addicting.
We did a show sometime last year. It might have been 2016, and we were talking about like RTSs. And I'm pretty sure I said a statement somewhere in the realm of like, I think RTSs are dead. We will never see another one in the next couple of years. And I'm so glad I was wrong because this looks pretty fun. This seems like a fun step forward in kind of riding the line of like casual enough to pick up and play, but hardcore enough to really fucking be hard. And also not have the idea of like, oh God, this is against other people. I'm way too nervous. I'm not going to play. Let's not play. Let's just get it. The whole thing that StarCraft had. So it's
the thing
I'm glad
that
to see
really
this.
knocks this game out of the park is, and we talked about this, I remember in that discussion, the RTS genre had gotten stale.
Yeah.
It got to the point where no matter how good an RTS was when it came out, it's going to be like everything that was before it. End of story. Doesn't matter how cool it is. And that happened with Grey Goo, and that happened with all those big league RTSs. They wanted to succeed, and no one grabbed on.
Yeah.
This is one of the first RTSs that does something different. They take a roguelike element. They give a map difficulty element. They have the reroll thing be a lot of it. They have the TD zombie element. Like, it adds enough to kind of breathe new life into the genre. At least it did for me. And I've passed up the last few big RTSs. So, and I've fallen in love with this one. Yeah. So it's a like you said, it's a great step forward. It's a great step forward.
I want to move forward just a little bit here so Zeke can see Zeke, have you seen like the horde attack? Have you seen that mechanic yet?
I think I saw a little bit of it, but this is honestly the first time seeing of it.
Okay, I'll try to fast forward. Oh, there's code loss, so you probably had a horde because there was a reset. Oh, I gotta go back. Okay. Oh, that's after he had already lost. Oh no, this is where you're talking about the fishing tent. Yeah. You notice it too right there. You can just see the little zombie. You're just like, well, fuck.
Oh, is this good? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is me frantically trying to like, maybe I could get there in time.
How many hits do the tents have for the zombies?
Now,
3?
What I'm looking at now is I'm clicking on the buildings and seeing if I can destroy them. So, but the problem is if zombies are too close, you can't build or destroy items. So sometimes you can get away with like destroying a ring of buildings around that guy and then locking down the infection. But as you can see, there's another building. There's another building. Now, so the whole process. You'll see in just a second when I realize I'm not getting out of this.
Can you just give each one of the tents like a revolver with like one bullet in it just in case? Like in case of zombie attack?
Yep. So and it took one zombie. That's all it took. A single zombie.
I saw the
I think
huts,
at this point I'm just like, let's just watch the end. Like we're done.
I saw the huts have 60 HP. Zombies are 3 hitting them, so they 20 damage attack to buildings, or
each building has a yellow bar and a green bar, and combined they represent the building being destroyed. But the yellow bar, which is not nearly as long, represents infection protection. And if the yellow bar crumbles, then in that case everyone becomes infected. So
interesting. Okay, that's kind of a cool mechanic.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'll be checking.
And see, that was it. Like you can
frames.
see, like I'm not even mad. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, I lost. Let's start a new game. That was fun. Like, that was cool. Got killed by a single zombie. Next time I won't put a patrol that big. What we learn from that time? You know, so it's really that kind of game. And then here's, I think
This might be your good run.
this is what I'm working on now.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, this is I'm going to be continuing this run in the morning.
Yeah.
This run is actually going pretty well. Like the left side of the map is the first time I've ever had a situation like that. I hope I scroll over there in a minute.
Yeah.
Basically, the entire left side of my map is walled off naturally. So there's this giant, like if you see right above this wall,
You got a big mountain.
there's a dip into a mountain range, and then the entire mountain range extends across the northwest of my base. It's ridiculous. I've never had a map like this before.
Huh.
So I'm hoping I'll be able to pull it out, but we'll see. We'll go for the third map win tomorrow. But yeah, it's it's
how many days do you usually play? You play the 100?
Well, you play as long as you can, but the difficulty I'm on is at 100, and you can increase the difficulty and score multiplier by lowering that amount. And actually, Zeke, something you may want to consider the first time is you can actually increase the days too. So like when you start a map, the very first map you do is considered 100%, and that is 100 days, medium zombie on map 1. But you can set that as low as 20%. So you could do map 1, 120 days to do the zombies, and low zombie population around the map. So that kind of gives you a chance to take it a little bit slower and, you know, kind of work through it. For anyone that may be thinking of trying this game, though, it is important to mention that if you want to beat a map to get to the next one, there is a percentage barrier you have to make sure that your difficulty is above. So I think you can lower the difficulty to like 10% somehow, but if you don't beat the map with 20%, you won't actually unlock the next tier. So if you're planning on playing to unlock the next maps, which you don't have to, of course, but if you want to, you want to make sure you know what you need.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this only because I've been playing Path of Exile way too much recently, and this seems like a breath of fresh air for both me and the channel.
Something really fun for me is I'm going to watch both of you guys play.
Oh, and you're just going to cackle. Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that neither of you will play like I do, but you guys will both find ways to do things that I've never thought of.
Sure.
Almost every time I've watched a streamer play this game, they have been doing something in some way that is different and better than I do. And in some cases, I've been doing things different and better than they do. Like there's no I win button in this game, and it makes watching other people play it interesting. Well, outside of, you know, an army of Thanatoses, that's basically an I win button.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. Is there like the godlike unit? Is it the Thanatos, or is there stuff even above that in tier?
There's give takes. So Thanatoses are extremely awesome because they're long range, they fire missiles, and they're relatively quick to move to places. But the issue is they're not good at close range combat. If they get overrun, they're basically destroyed. So there's a little bit of a give take. There's a better unit called a Titan, and that is a little guy that sounds exactly like Austin Powers that rides in a giant mech. So he goes around being like, "How are you? These enemies are so rude." It's pretty terrible.
Okay.
But he rides around in this mech, and he's technically a better unit, but his range isn't as long. He has a minigun instead of a rocket launcher. But he is like 3 times faster. So there's not like Thanatoses are arguably seen as some of the best units because you can put them behind walls, and they're arguably the most effective outside of snipers. But at the same time, you know, it's much more about where your choke points are, how your walls are set up, how many layers of walls do you have, what turrets do you have, and where are they, and stuff like that. Than it is just like pumping out one unit and hoping for a win.
Makes sense. Can you speed up game time, or is it always the same when you unpause?
No, you can't. There is no speeding up game time.
The spacebar pause.
But you don't want it.
What does spacebar do in the game?
Pause.
Okay, good. RTS is for me ever since playing StarCraft. I just spam spacebar just nonstop, so it's good to see that that's pause. It's just a weird nervous tick I have when I play RTSs. But again, going back, what engine is this? Unity? Do you know what engine this is, Code? Does it say when you boot it up? Okay.
No idea, to be honest.
I really
have
wonder
no idea what it.
I really wonder with the game size being a gig if this is going to be ported to mobile. Like playing this on an iPad or something like that. I wonder if that's what their goal is with this.
I thought about that as well, yeah.
Because it seems like
they made their own engine.
Oh, it's their own engine. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you, I can't really show you right now, but if you zoom in all the way on units, like the unit design is really good.
Yeah, the
like,
animations look good. Yeah.
Yeah, the animations are good. They're hand drawn. They're very stylized, and that's the end, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about if you look at and if you can read lips, you'll see me going, and that's JP telling me I have a show in about 30 minutes, so I should probably go.
Yeah.
That's basically what you just saw me saying.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's very stylized, very graphics. Even the zombies look great. There's specialty zombies, by the way, you have to deal with. There's big hulking zombie, there's acid spitting zombies, there's really, really fast zombies that hit hard, which definitely make it interesting. And of course, it's important to mention, this game is really fun. And it's still early access. They basically said everything in this game there's going to be more of. Like this is not by any means the completed vision. So yeah, it's not only fun already, but it's got a long way to go.
Cool. Zeke, are you still gonna wait, or did Co sell you? You're probably gonna finish Persona, aren't you? You're on that Persona train.
Oh, I'm gonna finish Persona for sure. I didn't come this far to not finish that fucking game.
Okay, we'll talk Persona after the break for sure. Because I want to see where you're at with it. But yeah, I'll be hitting this game up later today after the show.
Oh, one final thing to add, by the way, because I saw someone asking about this in chat. There's another very fun mechanic that is clearly designed to have you play the game multiple times, and that is at certain population levels, you get things called mayors. Ooh. And what happens is 2 options pop up on the screen, and they can be giving you units, they can give you tech, they can give you free buildings. It's completely random every time.
Oh.
And some of the bonuses are like game changing. Some of the bonuses will win you a map, and other bonuses are completely useless. And sometimes you get 2 amazing ones, and sometimes you get 2 terrible ones. So that adds this really interesting, like it makes it very clear the devs want you doing this lots and lots of times. Okay. I've played this game 25 hours. I still see new ones all the time. 37 hours I played this game, and I still see new mayors pop up all the time that I've never seen before.
Cool.
So it's a cool little feature.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, Zeke, at least touch it off stream, so maybe we can. I'm curious to see how you'll like it, because I think me and you are both. That sounded weird. I'm
are we
pretty
still doing phrasing?
Yeah, we can.
I always touch it off stream.
You always touch it off stream. I feel like me and you are pretty opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to RTS games. So I'm curious to see if you'd actually like this. And I'm curious to see if I like it.
I might like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're due for a break, so let's take a break. We'll come back, talk Persona. I think you did an Indie Sunday too. Do you got some indies to talk about?
Yeah, I did a Christmas Sunday, the Sunday before last. Yep.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that, and then sprinkling of news in there somewhere. So we'll be right back. More drop frames right after this. We'll see you guys on the other side.